Hello, welcome or welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz, and I will be guiding you on this journey today. This is a reading for Gemini, wherever Gemini is in your chart. How are you doing? Now that Uranus has moved into Gemini for the next 8 years. I hope that started off okay. That's the 12th house for me, and um, it's been something definitely unexpected in a good way though. I'll whatever. Um, what else do I want to yap about before we get into the reading? I know, like, if you watched your human design profile reading, I was complaining, I guess, about CapCut changing their terms of service and how it sucks, and that I'm not going to be editing the videos at all anymore. And I'm still judging myself for that. That's why I'm even bringing it up. Um, because I feel like if I judge myself first, it, kind of dissolves any judgment. I don't know. Anyway, the videos are literally going to go from camera to YouTube. So if my dog starts barking in the background, if I'm stumbling all over my words, if I am struggling to even find words, or sitting here in silence, literally just waiting for the words to drop from my mind to my mouth, because that happens too. All of that is going to be in the video for you to see. And my poor little Virgo moon hates that. So, anyway, the other thing that I want to let you know about is, after these readings, I do intend on doing the profile readings too, but I'm still not convinced. So I don't know. The intention is there. I'm just not sure if the execution is going to be there. But I am going to take a break for at least a month or two. And when that feeling or guidance, or both, when that came to me, because I don't do these readings on a schedule. I literally wait for the urge, the nudge, the little birdie to tell me to sit down here and start doing readings, and I'm like, oh, okay. And that's what I do. And when that happened, it was like, it basically went like, get started on the readings and then take a break, and then immediately after that it was, and it might be permanent. A little whisper, saying that break might be permanent. I'm not sure. Honestly, it kind of hit me like a ton of bricks. I was really pretty emotional the first couple times that I said that out loud in these readings. But I don't know. I mean, I've this is the only consistent thing I have done for the last 3 years, except for breathe. And it just hasn't reached the level of success that I was hoping for. So I definitely want to evaluate my role in that. Of course, it is my channel. I'm the one posting, right? And also, if it is in my highest good to continue to show up in this space in this way, or if my energy could be better spent somewhere else. I really don't know. It's interesting. I'm purging a lot of shit. Just old. I liquidated my Etsy store. I got rid of everything on with that in one fell swoop. It just kind of feel I'm trying to trust that clearing that energy out is making room for something else to come in, because I do truly believe that, and I do tell you guys that all the time. So it's like, taking your own advice, which is that ever easy? I don't think so. But what I was gonna say before too is that I started EMDR therapy in the last couple of weeks, and that has been unexpectedly really effing powerful and truly not at all. I couldn't have predicted, or I don't know. It's been amazing, but I just feel like all my energy is kind of like on this image here. It feels like I'm kind of taken apart right now, energetically, and I'm reclaiming these parts of myself that, I'm not going to lie, I honestly thought that I had reclaimed, but this is deeper than truly anything I could have done on my own or outside of EMDR therapy. And I need a minute, like I need to figure out like how these energies like fit in me now, and um I want to do that. So that is that. I'm assuming if I do end up, making it a permanent thing of not posting anymore, that I would come back here and say that. But who knows? I'm trying not to even put any expectations on anything. So that's enough about me. Let's again, and like I said, right, Uranus. Also, there was this video of this guy on TikTok who was like, I don't believe in astrology, but I do research it. What? And he was like going on this rant about how people pronounce Uranus incorrectly and it's Uranus. And I was like, first of all, shut up. Second of all, you're blocked. And I think like I think I've always pronounced it Uranus. So to say Uranus, oh my God, it's like a sensory thing. Literally, I want to gag. See, my dog gets it. Same with like heretic owl. I'm pretty sure heretic is pronounced heretic. Can't do it. Heretic owl, bro, can't do it. So anyway, I guess tomato, right? I don't know. But anyway, I thought that was kind of funny. But we have the 10 of Swords. It says hurt people, and hurt witches, hurt witches. So anyway, if you're a Gemini rising, with Uranus being in your first house, the next 8 years is going to be all about yourself and your identity and how you show up in your life for yourself, how you show up in the world. Who are you? Right? Like asking that question, who am I? Because true, like the first house is I am, right? So it's those I statements. I am what? Uranus is the planet of unexpected change, unexpected things and in general. So there could just be an aha moment that just comes out of the blue, but just hits you like a ton of bricks. Like I was hit like a ton of bricks. But it shifts the energy though, right? Like as soon as that came into me, I was like, that is probably a truth that I've been trying to deny for a little while, right? And something I haven't wanted to put a lot of time and attention in because it's uncomfortable. It makes me sad. So, right? Like there could just be something like that just kind of knocks you off your feet a little bit, but also it shifts stuff for you and in the best ways. If it hasn't already, because like I said, like I started EMDR therapy like I guess a month ago or so, and we start feeling the energy of like a planet changing signs like well before, and especially an outer planet like that. It's big energy, So anyway, I'm still shuffling. I wanted to get a couple more cards. I don't take the cards that flip in the deck because we want commitment like that. And if they don't come all the way out, I just don't take them seriously. So we have the Star at the bottom of the deck. We have the Seven of Pentacles, Four of Swords, Jupiter, or why did I say Jupiter? I mean, it is. It's the Wheel of Fortune, and the Knight of Cups. We have all of the elements out here too, which is cool. The Star card at the bottom of the deck, the Ace of Swords. Oh, we've got some room over here. Let's just leave these here for now. I was gonna try to get the Star card in there, but if we end up talking about it, we'll talk about it. I love that this Four of Swords is in the middle of the reading here too. It says, why aren't you resting? She's got this like hot water. Is that what it's called? Like a hot water bottle thing, you know, on her abdomen. Cup of coffee or whatever. I love the mountains in the background. Anyway, I love that is in the middle of the reading, and especially that it's in between the two cards that are on either side of it. So anyway, let's just start talking about them. So we start again with the Ten of Swords. On this it says curse. Like on this bottle here. I mean, I'm not one of those type of people that like think that people, you know, curse you, or I don't know if you've ever talked to, I remember getting a reading from this person who has a huge following on Instagram a while ago, and literally like their whole message was like how I am cursed and blah blah blah, and like doing all this crazy shit for like 30 days and I'm like no. That's not something that I participate in, but the feeling that I am getting from that, because she's like pulling this out of, or maybe even putting it into a box, it feels like finding that thread, you know, like that thing that I mean, to go along with this a little bit, has poisoned your mind, probably your belief system, your worth, you know, like your truth too. All the buzzwords for swords cards, or for the the suit of swords, bro. The mind, your mindset, your belief systems, ideas, intellect, knowledge, again, truth and honesty, right? But divine truth, not what we have conjured up, you know, based on our own limiting beliefs or insecurities or lack of worth, right? But truly divine truth. I also see swords as being the suit of ego, because that's generally where we tend to hear our ego, is in our minds. And our ego is created by those stories. Or it's created by the stories that we, bro. Where did my words go? Our ego is created by the stories that we attach to experiences, feelings, trauma, right? Something happens, we have an interaction or whatever the case may be. And then in that moment, our brain creates a story. And most times that is coming from a pretty young age when we didn't even have a lot of information. We had very little life experience to go on. But we carry that literally through the rest of our lives. And it just keeps cycling around. It just keeps coming up in one way or another. It becomes the reasons why we do and don't do certain things. It's our personality, our temperament, right? 10s are completion. I love that we have 2 10s out here, but 10s are a completion. So that's why I said everything I said about the 10 of Swords. Like, it's finding that thread. It could even be, of course, too, resolving that thread. Not just packing it up and, throwing it in the closet, right? Or continuing to carry it around as baggage. Maybe you even find the thing and label it. Because I keep looking at this label on this bottle, and it's like you wouldn't want to mistake that bottle for something else, right? So being able to identify the thing, because like that way, if and when it comes up for you again, you can identify I'm having this activation based on this thing that I've already identified. So, having that awareness of the thing, you can say, okay, I need to work through this a little bit differently, and just really be aware of how I am responding and reacting, and how I am even moving through that energy in my mind, like really having to like slow it down too, which is really effing powerful stuff. The 7 of Pentacles says, nurture what you have and see how it grows and grows. I love the plant shop imagery. I love that. It kind of looks like a little bit like the room that I do these readings in. I have like plants all over the place in here. But yeah, the 7 of Pentacles is the card that said, like, what you put your energy into, like what you focus on grows. So I think it goes really well with what we were talking about in this 10 of Swords, because there's this new seed being planted, right? Like you've identified the thread. And now it's about, reworking that, or instead of continuing to pull on that thread, it's making a different decision to nurture, or even, start threading a different one. Not to like kind of get lost in analogies or metaphors or whichever one it is. But like with the 7 of Pentacles, I always give the example of, you can't just plant a seed in the ground and literally do nothing else to it and expect to be able to harvest a vegetable or fruit or food from it, right? Like you have to water it every day. So not only you have to show up every day, You have to use your resources, which is water, right? You have to prune, to make sure that it has every chance to grow strong. I am not a gardener. I'm just, I've watched a lot of gardening, but anyway, so you have to check for pests. You have to make sure that it's not being absolutely obliterated by the sun, right? Like, all these different things to take into account versus just planting the seed in the ground and then literally wondering why nothing ever happened with it. I've done that plenty of times. I try to plant, I think it was butter lettuce, years and years and years and years and years ago. And then I actually kind of forgot where I planted them because I never went back out there to do anything. What was I thinking? So obviously nothing ever came about with that. But yeah, it's again, it's like, what you focus on grows. So are you going to focus, kind of continue to focus on, I don't think so, because tens are completion. It's switching where you place your energy. Pentacles has to do with our money, how we get it, how we spend it, how we save it, our time and our energy. Again, where are we investing our time? Where are we physically showing up in our lives? It's your physical health and your body too. Anything tangible, anything that you place worth and value on. Oh, I almost opened right to the page. The book says the witch tends to the plants in her shop window, placing moss agate points nearby to encourage strong growth. Understanding that some things take time to flourish. What in your life are you tending to? Perhaps it's a new career path or another long-term undertaking. Keep kindly reminding yourself that success likely won't be instantaneous. In fact, most of the overnight success stories you hear aren't what they seem. Behind the scenes, the progression is almost painfully slow and steady, completely unbeknownst to the people on the outside who only get to see the final result of tireless work and late nights. Stay focused and do what you need to do to get there. Blah. Which again, almost kind of feels like that Uranus thing I was talking about too, right? I mean, truly it could be just like that. But also it's just like that because you were looking for it. Because you were putting your time and attention, you were showing up for yourself, for whatever this 10 of Swords is. And then boom. There it is. Whoop, there it is. Whoop, there it is. That song just went through my head. That is going to be stuck in my head actually probably for the rest of the stupid day. Dang it. I should have let that pass. I don't know. Maybe listen to that song. Whoop, there it is. Shit, maybe I'll listen to that song after this. Anyway, and then, like I said, I think it is so beautiful that the Four of Swords is in the middle of the deck, the reading. Because, again, even like I was saying at, the beginning, right? This type of work, it's the same-ish thing, right? And it's big, powerful energy that is moving through your mind, is probably no doubt changing some type of, energetic chemistry, whatever, in your body. And you need to give yourself the permission, the space, and the time to rest. That is so important. And also, too, we can see that allowing yourself to rest speeds things up. How is that possible? Well, it is because you get out of your own way, for one, right? Like you honor your body, your mind. I mean, this is swords. Because the Four of Swords is about healing. It comes after the Three of Swords. The Three of Swords talks about rejection, disappointment, heartbreak, but also, how those things live in our minds. The stories, again, with the ego thing, like the stories that we are attaching to those words, those feelings, those experiences. So after that, we need this period of rest here. It is about healing. It's about, honoring again your mind, your body, just almost like allowing like the pieces to come back together. And if you keep moving, right? If you keep trying to make things happen, then it's like prolonging and preventing the pieces from like coming together, because now they have to like try to do all of that while you're moving around and like it's like trying to shoot a moving target. I don't know where that came from, but okay. Like like when they tell people to like zigzag, like don't run in a straight line, but zigzag if somebody is shooting at you. Where is that coming from? I think it's a good example, but like what the hell? Like where did that even come from? But yeah. Chill. I think too part of the discomfort in resting is believing that you're going to miss something. It's FOMO, right? Or it's that feeling of if I stop, I'll never start again, or you know what I mean? Or like if I stop the momentum, it won't pick back up or whatever. And honestly, I feel like that's all old stuff. There's a real opportunity here to like change how you approach things, to be more in alignment with like your true self, not the conditioning of I was always made to feel lazy or sitting in uncomfortable feelings. Like I would avoid that by continuing to do and continuing to strategize or whatever. Like, but there is this shift that is happening here. And like I said, we can see that because we have the Wheel of Fortune. And this card is called the Good Luck Charm. It says, if nothing seems to be going your way, cast a spell. The book says, after experiencing setback after setback, this witch finally decides that fate isn't something that's just allowed to happen to her. So she makes herself a good luck charm to wear. This way, I'll attract at least one good thing my way, she proclaims. She's right. Some stuff is out of your control, but there are plenty of things we can control. This card usually indicates that there's something you can do about your current circumstances, not limited to enchanting your jewelry. Make a list of possible solutions, start from the top, and don't stop till something works. Don't settle for what you've been given when there's likely a way to get what you want. And also, too, you would get clarity by taking that break. Letting the dust settle, the proverbial dust settle, and see what comes to you. Honestly, do both. Make a list before you officially go into this resting period. And then while you're in the resting period, and I'm not talking about just like after a day or so, like I'm talking about like give it a minute, right? Of truly allowing yourself to step outside the hustle, whatever that means for you, right? And getting quiet. And I would be so curious if your list is different while you're resting versus not, like versus being in the like current state. That would actually be really interesting. We have the Knight of Cups here. It says romanticize the present moment every chance that you get. The Knight of Cups is an offer. It's a message coming in. Cups have to do with our emotions, how we feel about ourselves, about our lives, about other people. It could be romance. I mean, like traditionally, the Knight of Cups is literally the knight in shining armor. So this is the thing, that perfect thing that shows up for you at the end of or through or as a result of like this process here. So if the fear is if I'm not actively doing something, then nothing is going to happen. This is literally saying that's not true. I feel like the Wheel of Fortune is even like coming up with a different game plan, because maybe the game plan that you have been working off of for a while, it worked at the time for that situation, but things are different now. And you need to come up with a different game plan. But also it's like more out of flow, more out of a regulated nervous system, right? Like without the old whatever, story or thing that was controlling your actions. And like I said, we have every element out here: earth, air, fire, water, which is very balanced, right? Like there's all these different areas of your life that are being attended to. I even love how they're sitting on a beach here. Like, it's effortless, because truly what is for you will find you wherever you are, even if you're sitting on a beach, right? Like, and being so present, because what is that saying? Like, if you are anxious, you're living too far in the future. If you are fearful, you're living too far in the past. And if you're grateful, you're living in the present. I love that she's made this heart out of seashells too. There's a creative aspect to it, and that her hand is at her heart space. So it's leading with your heart, not with your mind. So I love too that leading with your heart is at the end of the reading, when being stuck in the mind was at the beginning of the reading. Whereas like the focus was on like what's wrong with me or whatever, versus out here expressing love for yourself, for your life, for whatever. Trusting that the right opportunity will show up. And the Wheel of Fortune too is like, however things have been in the recent past, they are going to change. If you haven't been busy, you will be. If you have been busy, you won't be. Like, right? And it's like one of those things of like the only constant in life is change. I love at the bottom of the deck, we have the Star card. It literally says, have faith that healing is in the forecast. This is at trusting the process, believing that your dreams are possible, holding on to that. We have the Ace of Swords behind that. Look at you, bursting with sparkly new ideas. Which, again, is possible as a result of going through this whole process. This was beautiful, bro. Sorry for how many bros, like how many times I've called you bro, but it's like my new favorite word for some reason. It's like my hyperfixation word. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I will talk to you soonish. Bye.